The White House ramped up its efforts to prove that Mr. Obama is fully engaged in stopping this thing, releasing pictures of his meetings and unleashing an angry President Obama.
I don't sit around just talking to experts because this is a college seminar. We talk to these folks because they potentially have the best answers, so I know who's asked to kick.
Well, that soundbite from the media unleashed a torrent of media reactions. Sum it up for us, Cal.
Well, you know, first of all, the president was set up to say this by Matt Lauer, who used the word butt-kicking, and the president took it to the next level. And
suggested he didn't think the president was being sufficiently angry.
Yeah, but the media is complicit in this. They're the ones who built him up into even a kryptonite-defying Superman. He was the man, he said of himself, he was going to lower the waters. He could even walk on water, including as far as many in the press were concerned. But now it appears that he's mortal, like all the rest of us, with the exception of Ellis here. And all of a sudden, there's buyer's remorse that's kicked in.
After the ass-kicking comment, let me read you a couple of headlines. On Matt Drudge, he wrote, "Obama goes street seeking ass to kick." And Time Magazine senior political reporter Mark Halperin called the headline racial. Was it?
I don't think so, but I can see why, you know, Drudge picked the headline. I mean, and I can see why plenty in the media love the idea of Obama as a African American, and they love the street credibility. As I said in the show a couple weeks ago, Bill Maher said he should pull out a gun, and Spike Lee and these kind of people celebrate that aspect of Obama, and when he pulls it out, Drudge just simply took note of that.
There seems to be more media reaction to the president's handling of the crisis. I think he got a pass in the early days, but is the White House working, do you think, to appear tougher?
Message, we care. Yeah. The president gets it. I mean, we all may be very sorry that we asked the White House and the president to show us that they cared, because now they're doing nothing but that. But, you know, the president's anger seems to be as directed at the press and the media as it is at BP, no matter what he says. And the message somehow, is this really what this crisis is about, messaging, or is it about the fact that he still isn't doing the things that he could do to counter this crisis? And that the press doesn't seem to pay very much attention to.
Let me read you, Alice, something that AP wrote. Ron Fournier from the AP Washington bureau chief, he wrote this about the Gulf oil spill. He said, "Nobody led, not the President of the United States, not the chief executive of BP, not Congress, federal agencies, or local elected officials." Are they just now figuring that out?
Wait, no ass in the question?
No ass in the question.
I like it when you talk dirty like that, John. Listen, when it comes to symbols and PR, tone matters. And the tone was wrong at the beginning. It was the no drama Obama that so many Americans thought we wanted after those 8 years of maybe a little too much drama. And now we're getting the flip side
So
of it.
you think he should jump up on a fire truck and grab a bullhorn?
No, because I think it's fake. I think what he needs to do, and I think we got a pretty good read there of it, which is a little flash of anger, but I don't think we want this guy to pretend to be some kind of a steroidal maniac. It's not productive, and it's not who he is.
I agree with both what Judy and Ellis both just said, which is, look, emotion doesn't really matter. What matters is the technical competence of the government or BP to clean this stuff up. If we can drill that deep, we can clean up that deep. Nobody seems to be thinking about, well, what machines and technology do we need to solve this problem? Obama could be cool as a cucumber or as hot as hell, and it wouldn't make a difference to the oil.
Even of greater significance, I think, is how the European media, especially the British media, are turning on a president that they admired during the campaign. You had on your show on Friday, happening now, the James Harding, the editor of the Times of London, who said the British people are really angry on the way BP has been treated. They pointed out over there the millions of pounds of money that are tied up in pension funds, and they don't like the way that BP is being beaten up in the British press.
They're for the home team. I mean, and notice as Americans, sometime when we have international issues, we're for the home team. I think nothing unusual.
Wait a minute.
There's a very high correlation between teams in the World Cup and who the folks back
Right,
in the country.
fandom they call that. I don't know if you've heard of that.
But is it being jingoistic, what Mr. Obama's been saying about BP?
40% of BP stock is owned by people in the United States. So let's not kid ourselves. These are huge international conglomerates that spend huge amounts of money. And that's something that I wonder, where is the press when BP spends millions on these ridiculous ads in newspapers that also basically say, we care, we care.
Where's the press? Taking the money.
No. That's not what the press is. They're blaming Obama for something that they should be focusing on BP about. It's really what they
And then
are.
there was this, Cal. Reverend Jesse Jackson was telling people that they should boycott BP stations, which really isn't going to hurt the BP corporation. It's going to hurt the individual franchisees who own the stations. I mean, should he just be ignored?
Yes.
In a word?
In a word.
But you say that
Long
to
time
everything.
ago. No, I never
You say
ignored
that
you,
to
Alice.
everything.
He should have been
says.
ignored years ago. He's long outlived his sell-by date.
All right. And then when it comes to the meeting with Tony Hayward, the BP CEO, it seemed like Robert Gibbs, the presidential spokesman, sort of got badgered into it. He didn't have an answer earlier in the week when asked whether Mr. Obama would meet with him. By the end of the week, it was all set
The
up.
press figures this stuff out, slow, as we all agree, and then they say, why isn't Obama being emotional? Okay, so the White House has a meeting, say, okay, let's get emotional. Then the press figures out he hasn't met with BP. Okay, let's have a meeting with BP. The Obama administration does not appear, I don't think even Ellis will disagree with this, to be ahead of the story.
So they're
but
being pushed into it by the media,
yeah,
pushed into their management of it?
A little bit, but let's remember, the pageant doesn't matter. What matters is turning off the oil,
Yes,
being
absolutely.
aggressive,
Right.
but yet we've taken this role in the media. Now we want to be drama critics, and well, no, this didn't happen quickly enough, or it didn't show emotion. That's
Right,
just
but
a bunch of
it's
bull.
bad enough to be drama critics, but it's worse to be let your script get written by the media. And that's what the White House is
exactly
doing.
right. That's what happens. The media is writing the script, and then he doesn't play to the script, and then they criticize him for not playing to the
If only
script.
the media would
quit
say,
doing that.
if only the-
Quit doing that.
If only the media would say, bring in the people who made Iron Man and actually clean up the spill, then Obama would do that.
Well, we brought
As
in
opposed
Kevin
to Avatar.
Costner.
No-
Kevin
nothing-
Costner's here.
Nothing succeeds like